2. Given probability of x1 equals to 0 is 0.2, probability of x1 equals to 1 is 0.8, and for all k greater than and equal to 1 and less than and equal to n, probability of xk plus 1 equals to 0 given xk equals to 0 is 0.6. Probability of xk plus 1 equals to 1 given xk equals to 0 is 0.4. Probability of xk plus 1 equals to 0 given xk equals to 1 is 0.3. Probability of xk plus 1 equals to 1 given xk equals to 1 is 0.7. Question A is find the probability of x2 equals to 1. There are two probabilities for x1 when x2 equals to 1. X1 can equals to 0 or 1. So there are two probabilities, x1 equals to 0 and x2 equals to 1, or x1 equals to 1, x2 equals to 1. So we can write probability of x2 equals to 1 given x1 equals to 0 times probability of x1 equals 0 plus probability of x2 equals 1 given x1 equals to 1 times probability of x1 equals to 1. This is probability of x1 is 1 and x2 is 1 equals to, we can see probability of xk plus 1 equals to 1 given xk equals to 0 is 0.4 times probability of x1 is 0 is 0.2 plus probability of xk plus 1 equals to 1 given xk equals to 1 is 0.7 times probability of x1 equals to 1 is 0.8, which is equals to 0.08 plus 0.56 equals to 0.64. Problem B is find the probability of x3 equals to 1. First, we need to find the probability of x2 equals to 0, which is also the same way as problem A, equals to probability of x2 equals to 0 given x1 equals to 0 times probability of x1 equals to 0 plus probability of x2 equals to 0 given x1 equals to 1 times probability of x1 equals to 1, which is 0.6 times 0.2 plus 0.3 times 0.8 equals to 0.12 plus 0.24 is 0.36. And then we can find the probability of x3 equals to 1, which equals to probability of x3 equals to 1 given x2 equals to 0 times probability of x2 equals to 0 plus probability of x3 equals to 1 given x2 equals to 1 times probability of x2 equals to 1, which is equals to 0.4 times 0.36 plus 0.7 times 0.64 equals to 0.592. Question C. Find the probability of x1 equals to 0 given x3 equals to 1, which is equals to probability of x1 equals to 0 and x3 equals to 1 over probability of x3 equals to 1 equals to probability of x3 equals to 1 given x1 equals to 0 times probability of x1 equals to 0 over probability of x3 equals to 1. So we need to find the probability of x3 equals to 1 given x1 equals to 0. To find this, we need to calculate 0.2, 0.8 times 0.6, 0.4, 0.3, 0.7 square equals to 0.48, 0.52, 0.39, 0.61. So the probability of x3 equals to 1 given x1 equals to 0 should be 0.52. So probability of x1 equals to 0 given x3 equals to 1 is 0.52 times 0.2 divided by 0.52 times 0.2 over 0.592 equals to 0.176. Question D. Find the limit n approaches infinite. Probability of xn equals to 0. To find this, we need to calculate the set of probability of x infinite equals to 0 and the probability of x infinite equals to 1, which equals to limit n approaches infinite 0.2, 0.8 times 0.6, 0.4, 0.3, 0.7 to the nth power. So we need to calculate a 1 minus a times 6 times 0.6, 0.4, 0.3, 0.7 equals to a 1 minus a. So 0.6a plus 0.3, 1 minus a equals to a. So a equals to 3 over 7, and 1 minus a equals to 4 over 7. This means limit n approaches infinite. Probability of xn equals to 0 is 3 over 7.